Hey, what's going on, everybody? Are you looking for a cheap, easy, effective way to build your soil organically at home in your garden beds? Well then, it's time to start talking about cover cropping. Around me, I got about 2,000 square feet of buckwheat and cowpeas growing. The soil is loving it, the honeybees are loving it. So let's get into it and start talking about it and get you successful with cover crops. So let me tell you what I got going on here. About a month ago, I had about 10 tons of soil excavated from my front yard from a driveway project and dumped in my backyard. I had some low-lying areas here that I needed filling, and so I took about 2 to 3 inches of that topsoil, placed it over the existing crabgrass and Bermuda grass lawn that I had going on, and then I started to realize, man, instead of letting all that stuff grow back in, why not use it? And so I came up with an idea of getting kind of like a cut flower farm and heirloom vegetable production, which would supply our garden center in downtown Nashville. And I knew that before I could even start planting seeds or starts, I had to build the soil. And this is a big mistake I see a lot of beginners make early on, and I get it, they're excited, they want to get out and work in the garden. But if you do not work organic matter of some sort into that soil before you start planting, you're going to waste a lot of effort and not wind up with a lot of results. Okay, so let's start with first things first, cover crop seed. What you see here is the mix that I used for this plot. The brown seeds up top are the cowpeas, and the black seeds down below, those are the buckwheat seeds. So now buckwheat is a fantastic cover crop for this region. Spring, summer temperatures, grows really quickly, 2 to 3 feet tall, grows a lot of leaves, stems, root systems very quickly, and really forms a great biomass, which is essentially what all I just talked about. And as you get it worked into the soil with a tiller or shovel, it breaks down into organic matter and really feeds the soil that way. It has a really deep taproot system that really breaks up some of that harder clay here in our region. As far as the cowpeas are concerned, the cowpeas are a legume, which is essentially a cover crop that fixes nitrogen. It literally takes the nitrogen from the atmosphere, fixes it into its root structure, which then leaches into the soil, and nitrogen is a fantastic fertilizer for the incoming crops planted after this. So the cowpeas and the buckwheat essentially will get turned in with the tiller, and allows that organic matter to really break down into the soil. Now, as far as application rates are concerned, I used about 5 to 6 ounces of buckwheat per 100 square feet and about 3 to 4 ounces of cowpeas per 100 square feet. And since I had about 2,000 square feet, I just ramped up those numbers and wound up probably with about 8 to 9 pounds of buckwheat applied and 6 to 7 pounds of cowpea seed applied. So I think it's worth noting that if I hadn't had just this bare topsoil here to begin with, I probably would have used a tiller at the very first step to break up some of this Bermuda crabgrass lawn area that I was working in, and I probably would have incorporated that cover crop seed mix during the time of tilling to really kind of work that cover crop seed deeper into the layers of soil for better germination. But I didn't. I had bare soil, and I did the application rate like I just said. I think in hindsight, I would have used these steel tines before the broadcast process, tried to really scrape some really deep grooves into that soil, get that seed as low as I could in the soil, and then really bring about 1 inch of soil over top of that cover crop seed. I also probably could have went back and did a mulching of wheat straw over top, just a light mulching. It really helps hold that moisture in, keeps those birds from getting out to your cover crop seed, and makes a big difference in the germination rate down the road. But overall, I'm really happy with what came about. So one last thing I thought would be worth mentioning for those who have smaller gardens and they're using cover crops, you don't need all this heavy equipment like I have here with the rototiller and the mower. You really just need some head shears or weed eater to break down that cover crop, and then a shovel to kind of turn it into your soil. Well, that's about it for me today. Gonna take my tiller off and go work in that cover crop. I really appreciate y'all watching. I'm gonna keep on doing these video series promoting organic techniques in the garden, in the landscape. I got a ton of topics that I want to include in the coming months and years. So last couple words of wisdom that I have for cover crops. No matter what region of the country you live in or what season you find yourself in, spring, summer, winter, or fall, you can find a cover crop that's gonna do what you want it to do in your garden. So go online, get you some cover crop varieties. They're cheap, they're easy to work with, great way to organically build the soil, and I believe in you. So I'm gonna get back to it, and thanks again. Matt Kerske with Gardens of Babylon. Take care.